Hey there, comic book fans. I'm John Andersen, and I just watched episode 20 of Gotham. It was pretty good. We got a lot of story points with Azrael and Arkham, but before I go any further, keep in mind I'm going to be going through key plot points from the episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, here is your spoiler warning. And there it goes. So Jim has hit a dead end on taking down Hugo Strange or tracking down Azrael, so he thinks it would be a good idea to track down his would-be sister, Tabitha, aka Tigress. Which, by the way, I've never bought into the Theo-Tabitha brother and sister relationship because these two actors look nothing alike, and the show's never addressed if they're adopted or if they are fraternal and they just look nothing alike. It's really confusing, and it bothers me that the show's never addressed that. We also have Barbara Keene going MIA once again for whatever reason. Apparently Butch kicked her out of the mansion. But again, I think this is the writer saying, I don't know what to do with Barbara Keene in this situation, and honestly, I'm getting exhausted trying to figure out what's going on with that character. Regardless, Tabitha brings Jim and Gordon to the gravesite where the original Sword du Mont is, because last episode, the Sword du Mont that Hugo Strange had made specifically for Azrael as a way to continue this ruse and this persona that he's put on for him. So as you can imagine, Azrael shows up to his gravesite, and Tabitha tries to convince him of his past life, and in doing so, she triggers memories of him wanting to kill Bruce Wayne, and for whatever reason, that makes her a traitor, and he decides to stab her, which I saw coming from a mile away. Which brings me to my next point. In the beginning of the episode, we see that Captain Barnes is still alive but in critical condition. And later on in this episode, we see that Tabitha is still alive but in critical condition as well. And I guess the showrunners want to keep these two characters alive to bring them back in season 3 for whatever reason. In my opinion, they should have just killed them off because they weren't that interesting of characters. But hopefully they can redeem the characters in season 3. So once again, as you can imagine, Azrael shows up at Wayne Manor, and we see once again that Alfred has a military background and is a formidable foe for Azrael, but not strong enough. We also see that Bruce Wayne has been developing his street skills where he sets up a distraction for Azrael, leaving his shoes vacant so that way he can hit him with a car, which I thought would have been an appropriate end for Azrael, this saint of Dumal, to be killed by Bruce Wayne. But again, that would go against Batman's moral code, which I like that Gotham is trying to stick to that. Looking at you, Zack Snyder. Thus, the card trick doesn't kill him, and Jim shows up from behind and shoots him, which is very reminiscent of the first time he killed him, which I thought, again, would have been very appropriate because he killed him the first time, he killed him the second time, and I would have been happy with that ending. But he gets up again because I guess Hugo Strange brainwashed him to think that he's this mythical god creature and he just can't die, regardless if he's bleeding out. Nevertheless, Penguin shows up, who, by the way, ever since he went back to being crazy, has left the Vandal family just dead in the dining room for how many of our episodes that's been. And I think that's funny just to see how crazy Penguin is, that he's just leaving these dead bodies to decay right in front of him. And he's teamed up once again with Butch, which is a nice partnership that I've missed since season 1. But they show up with the most ridiculous, most cartoony, most comic book thing that you can do. Show up with a bazooka and blow up Azrael, which sounds so stupid, but for some reason I loved every second of it. And that leads me to the second plot line where Bruce Wayne recruits Selina Kyle in order to get dirt on Hugo Strange. And during her break-in, she runs into Enigma, who's trying to get out of Arkham because he found the Indian Hill facility and wants nothing to do with that. So as a compromise, she tells him how to get out, and he tells her about the secret entrance into Indian Hill. That leads to a cameo by Killer Croc, one of the main villains in the Batman mythos, and a fully realized Firefly who kidnaps Selina Kyle. Which obviously means that Bruce is going to want to save her because he's the one that sent her there, which also means that we're probably going to get some more cameos next episode. So that's my thoughts on episode 20. If you guys like this video, be sure to share and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook at John Ryan Andersen or on Instagram and Twitter at The Comic Look. And remember guys, as always, comics do deserve a second look.